Hey, this is Trudy. Somebody wanted me to talk about my diagnoses. So, um, um, I've been in therapy for so many years. Since I was a child, I was probably 11. I've seen a lot of therapists, done a lot of therapy, know a lot of psychobabble terms. Like I can rationalize a lot of things with this language. Scary. I mean, there's good that comes from psychology, but I'm a little jaded and cynical. So here's my story. So I have, among other things, Davy Jones Locker syndrome. See, what happened to me, like, this was brought on for me, like for some people, it's brought on by a midlife crisis. See, um, this syndrome is really about um, living according to your own belief systems and you know taking action like if you're born into a family, into a church, and there's belief systems you grow up with as a child. When you get older, you get to choose, what belief systems are you going to live by. And if things don't sit right with you, you can explore it. But if you have a basic, say, okay, so your basic belief system is do good unto others. Don't be a jerk. Don't harm others. Don't steal. Don't murder, rape. Yeah, basic. Don't hurt people. If you don't live like according to those your beliefs, whatever your beliefs are, because I think fundamentally we know that murder's wrong. Like, there's something you feel, in your essence, that when things are wrong, when you're going against the grain of nature, and you're going down a wrong path. Yeah, it's sometimes it's fun to do the wrong thing. Yeah, I know, but there comes a point where if you're not, living up to what is right, and you keep screwing up and wasting your life, like you have a midlife crisis like I did, and I hadn't really created anything in my life that I was really proud of. I mean, all I really wanted to ever do was be a mom and have a baby, and it didn't. I had all. That's another story. I did that before. Anyways, Davy Jones Locker syndrome. See, I I feel like I spiritually died. Okay, see, I had this stand. I did other videos more into detail about my spiritual death and all my delusional, that whole story. But the gist of it is, I feel like I severed something spiritual that maybe I don't have the right terminology for, but I broke something important. And I know what eternal damnation feels like. Uh, and like when this happened to me, the day after I felt I spiritually, I judged myself. People say Judgment Day, saints are going to go up to heaven and sinners are going to be down here to like fight it out with each other. Well, kind of. But no, it's not just one day. Judgment Day is different for everybody. Like my Nana said, every dog has their day. And so my day came, and I wasn't taking action. I was dying inside. It was my self neglect that caused the syndrome. I was dying, and I didn't get angry. I didn't get angry enough to change my life, to create something of value. I wasn't living according to my own belief system. I stole, I cheated, I manipulated, I was kind of a jerk. And so my delusion happened is because the day that I died, the next day Fukushima happened in Japan. And I'm convinced, my delusion is I'm convinced that when I spiritually died, that energy went through the universe, because we're all energy, and it affected the weather, and that my death caused Fukushima. I feel responsible. And I know that sounds crazy, but I have this concept that all weather, all storms are a reflection of our storms, our emotional, our spiritual storms that we have, is reflected in the weather. There's a connection to the weather and what we do. And I know that sounds strange, but that's my delusion. Anyways, I wanted to talk about how to avoid getting Davy Jones Locker syndrome. This is what I want to say: is live according to your beliefs. You know, if you don't take action, if you're in a, you're like you feel like you're dying inside, and like if you speak up that nobody's gonna hear you and you're just gonna be squashed, you know, and you never get angry, you're a very agreeable person. You might want to get angry. You might want to get angry at yourself. You might want to get angry with people around you. You might want to get angry with life and everything. And I mean, even Jesus had to knock over some tables, man. I mean, if you don't take action, your neglect of self will cause this syndrome. And I don't, you know, I feel I'm trapped in my own personal hell I created for myself. And in death, I'm convinced either is nothing, which would be great. More of my negative delusions is in death. I'm trapped here, eternally damned. I don't get to progress. Like, you know, you can progress. This is just this life right now is just one journey and many journeys. You don't need to die here. You don't need. This isn't where you need to die. No. Okay, that's my funny story. Um, on paper, my official diagnosis is bipolar disorder with CPTSD, anxiety. I've taken all the pills for years. Um, I have some judgment of the psychiatric industry just because I know that um, it could fundamentally, you know, we created all these labels for mental health conditions so that we would understand what we're talking about. We've got so many labels, and everybody has a little bit of, you know, something. Everybody could fall underneath a label in that book and be considered having to have a mental health diagnosis. Especially, I mean, depression. Everyone's going to experience some depression in their life. So I love about like was it the Japanese language? There's like a 30, 40 different words for depression. Um, that sounds like a good use of more words. If you want to create some words like that, would be helpful. Having more words for different types of sadness might be helpful. I also think that I'm probably borderline personality disorder, and definitely highly neurotic. I'm a very neurotic person, and I have a lot of self-loathing, and I love the self-deprecating humor. It's fun. I just my issue, I guess, with psychiatry is that um, getting trapped into a label. That's why I did this. It's because getting trapped in any one sort of label and having that define who you are is problematic. It's like, you know, we can learn something about ourselves, but slapping a label and having that be your personality can be damaging. You know, yeah, I am delusional and crazy, but I guess I must have a purpose. If I'm still here, I gotta have some kind of purpose, right? Maybe I can create something that I'm proud of. I don't know. I'm trying.